When I think of playoffs, I think of the feeling I get when I go out on stage and the crowd is just roaring. It's just like the electric air of it. It feels like that was what you had been working for your whole year.
Hand on my heart, I'm down on my knees, I'm asking you nicely. I take the blame, I take a bullet, would you take one for me?
I haven't won a title in a pretty long time. It hurts me to not be able to make my fans happy, and I still want to prove that I can bring a team to first place.
FlyQuest now going for the initiation.
Bonnie and Clyde, right till we die, do it so carelessly.
The David comes through and Turtle goes wild.
Just start the fire, watch it burn out and leave. If you know
They're going for it! They're going for it! The pentakill to send them into playoffs. And the Titan Killers will face TSM.
I guarantee you, Bjergsen and Sven remember us knocking them out. I think they should be scared.
What a split from Golden Guardians!
Our fans, they've endured the most possible, going from back-to-back 10th place to finally see us make it into playoffs. We're going to do it for our fans.
They're going to get first blood now! Oh, man.
Right now, I have so much confidence going into playoffs. I've had this feeling for a while. But this time, TSM is the real deal.
Bjergsen takes him out with a bomb.
TSM taking down TL. Who is the playoff favorite now?
The chants, the fans, the atmosphere is so hyped. You get so pumped. I live for that moment.
Whether it's to practice or the game or the fans, there is a different energy. It's like, yeah, let's do this.
Sneaky sinks his fangs into broken blade. It's a comeback story! And Cloud9 takes the win!
Doublelift is the king of NA, so if you play with Doublelift, you're gonna have pretty good chances at winning.
I think the team that I'm on in LCS, we're gonna win. I have a responsibility to my teammates to keep that up. They have an expectation with Peter. He's gonna play really well when it really counts.
Will pay for their incompetence. Whoever drops the flag will pay for their incompetence. We've lost the flag. The rebels have foolishly dropped the flag.
Welcome back to the LCS Countdown, where Game 1 of FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians is just 7.5 minutes away. Last week, these teams faced off not once, but twice to decide side selection, going 1-1 on Sunday. And since this is perceived as the closest quarterfinal match, I wanted to challenge the analysts to pinpoint where each team has the edge. So we're going to go lane by lane, as we've done many times in the past, but they're going to put a face on these lines to basically dictate how favored they think the matchup is one way or the other. So let's start in the top lane. You guys throw your faces up for clarity.
Let's do this.
That little middle line means it is an even matchup. No player has the advantage. The further you go to one side, the more favored it is towards that player. So as they throw these up, all three of you are in agreement that Haunter will get the better of Viper this time around. Talk to me, why is that?
Right, so you have to keep in mind one of these players is a rookie and the other is not. He's won multiple championships in playoffs and in the LCS. I think that'll go a far way. They both have a pretty big champion pool. I believe the experience being on the playoff stage will bring them ahead of Viper.
Yeah, and Haunter's been an absolute monster in the top lane, especially in laning phase. Yeah. But the thing that I like about Viper a little bit in this matchup and why it's not super Haunter favored is with what we've seen going on in the top lane with the meta, where people are playing a lot of mages and Karma, and hey, play Kayle, and it feels like there's a ton of carries up there, and it's a lot about counter picks and stuff. I assume Viper, this solo queue superstar, has a lot of things prepared, whereas Haunter feels like his team relies on him to play a certain style a little bit more.
So you can take a look at the CSD differential here, and Viper has actually been playing way more carries this season than Haunter, yet he's still at a lower CS differential, and that is not a good sign when you try to play a lot of carries. So if it's a carry versus tank match and the tank is getting more CS, you gotta go with Haunter.
All right, fair enough. Let's jump to the junglers then. Santorin, of course, was the only guy to make it on to that third team all LCS, who wasn't on TSM, TL, or Cloud9. Highs drop his face on the ground. Excuse me while I bend through the shot to grab that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got my face.
All right, I got your face.
Stop covering me up.
Don't worry. I love how Crumbs keeps going last, so that his face can be on top of everyone else's face.
I'm slow. It takes me a while to do these things.
Okay, so this one is favored towards Santorin. I'm not necessarily surprised, given his history and pedigree, and you talked about experience, but let's dive into the matchup and how the two players might be.
Yeah, I think we all kind of favor it a little bit more towards Santorin, even more so than the Hanser matchup. And I think it's because he's such a backbone for this team. Santorin is always super reliable, farms super well, gets ahead in CSD and experience, has high kill participation, as well as first blood percent. He does almost everything right and almost never makes mistakes.
I mean, he's on the third All-Pro LCS team. Contracts is not. Santorin has had multiple championships, and even though they both have a really wide champion pool, whereas they've been playing Kindred, Poppies, and all these things, Santorin has been doing it to a much greater degree of success than Contracts, especially when you consider how well he and Pobelter have been playing, whereas I feel like Contracts and Froggen are a little bit more disjointed in what they're trying to do as a mid-end jungle.
Right, and that might be just because Contracts is a little bit more volatile than Santorin is. Santorin generally won't feed. Contracts may have a game or two that he feeds, so...
A little feast or famine, yeah.
All right, let's jump to the mid lane then. Pobelter versus Froggen. Of course, Pobelter and Froggen both have tons of experience across both of their histories. Froggen, though, looking to make a statement in this playoffs that he is back. And still can play with the absolute best. It looks like this might be the closest matchup we've had so far. Crumbs, you're the only one who goes maybe 51-ish% in favor of Pobelter.
Great eye, Dash. 51 to 49.
I got it. I knew it. Right on the line.
Yeah, I mean, Pobelter has been winning championships for quite some time now. He's won it on CLG. He won with Liquid last split. So I think that this guy has been a pillar when it comes to having a mid laner that enables everybody else on your team. And you can take a look at his stats right there. It's not a big difference when it comes to what Froggen has been doing as well. The gold share is the same. And while he does a little bit less damage than Froggen does with the same gold, I think that he enables his guys a lot more, especially Wild Turtle, that I think is going to be a huge factor in this game.
Right, and I think Froggen has a pretty clear edge here because they kind of play similarly in the sense that they're both solid blocks for their teams, right? But when you're thinking of someone that's going to hard carry a game, you don't really think of Pobelter. He definitely won't feed, but either will Froggen. But Froggen will hard carry your team across the finish line if he must. And I believe that just puts him the edge over Pobelter.
But how many games does one person solo carry in this current
You can
match?
ask, fine, but...
You can carry feature matchup is the mid lane, but we got to talk about the remaining lane on the Rift, and that is the bot lane. Starting with the ADCs, again, you talk about a mismatch in experience. Wild Turtle, one of the most veteran players on the stage today, across from Deathly, who's making his first playoff appearance. All three of you say Wild Turtle. Eyes all the way over. It looks like you're saying Deathly has no chance.
All right, there's a chance. It's just very slim. And I'm going to say I love both these players, so I hope he doesn't hate me. I love you, Deathly. But there's a pretty big difference to me in the terms of their playstyle. Turtle is a person that is very aggressive and will be in the correct position to make sure he hits priority targets, and Deathly might not.
All right, of course, we got to talk about the better halves of both of these bot lanes as well. The supports, JJ versus Ole. Ole has that winningest percentage in playoffs, gentlemen.
Get off my face.
Get off my face!
So I think the bot lane is actually really interesting because while I absolutely agree Turtle's the better bot laner, it actually is a thing where they just take really lane dominant things like Draven and Kalista and try and go even or win the lane. And Ole can help support that playstyle. He's just a lot coin flippier, where I think JJ is a lot more stable.
All right, suggests that it could be determined then by how Ole or JJ end up piloting that bot lane. Playoffs raises the pressure to perform, my goodness. So let's hand it back over to Coach Kobe for a little post-season pep talk.
Well, la-di-da! You've made it to playoffs. Are you proud of yourselves? Your parents proud? Your fans proud? Well, they should be. You spent all of last year dominating the LCS. You're gonna let them take that away from you? Hell no. You. It's always you. Internationally, who else can we count on? None of them. It's you. And you? It's been a rough year. Woo. Last year was definitely bad. Well, you are kicking ass now. You defeated all of them in the back half of the split. It's time to bring back the chance. TSM. And you, rising up, great content, questionable haircuts. But that's not what wins championships. Willpower does. and you've got it. You, band of rejects? They laughed at you? Do you still have it? Are you washed up? Hell no. Back-to-back 10th? You're in playoffs now. Write your own destiny. And you're here too. Ha! Titan Killers, though. Those last 4 wins, that's gonna strike fear into the hearts of the previous winners. And you could do it all the way to St. Louis. Don't stop here in the LCS. Make it to finals.
Their shields have been disabled.
Inspirational words from an inspirational man. Thank you very much, Kobe. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are into the first quarterfinal match here at LCS Spring 2019. I am Clayton Captain Flowers Reigns, joined by Isaac Azael Cummings Bentley, and we will be taking you through all 3 to potentially 5 games that we got lined up here today.
I'm excited, man. If the last day of the season was any judge, these 2 teams are very closely matched. And I think we're in for a treat today.
Yep, we did get to see them play twice last weekend. For those of you who did not catch that last day of competition, earlier on in the day, it was all tied up, and then that tie was broken there at the very end. So we're going to see who's going to end up ultimately taking victory here and what could be the best of 7 between FlyQuest and Golden Guardians.
Yeah, and also we have to remember we are now on 9.6. This is a new patch for playoffs, so you have to take into consideration who is going to have the better read on the playoff patch, who is going to have more preparation put in on some of these new champions that are rising to the top, such as Kale, such as Urgot, and a high priority on a lot of these top lane carries, which we can see, potentially 3 bans targeted towards Haunter. Yes, Rise can be flexed, but certainly a lot of attention being paid the way of Haunter.
Right, the bans, the Rise, the Gangplank, the Jace coming out from FlyQuest. Golden Guardians removing Nocturne, Akali, and Sylas. As FlyQuest is going to go ahead, they're saying, all right, it's a new patch, but it does not matter. Lissandra, a staple of competition here for a while. That'll be their first pick.
Certainly will. Golden Guardians going to be happy to grab that Tahm Kench for Olay, though. So many people have talked about how much this pick actually enables that team. So, perhaps surprising to some to see it actually fall through the pick and ban and get over to Golden Guardians' side. Has been the most played for Olay. He has been not only very adept at actually keeping his carries safe, but also in playing the map, in moving around with the Abyssal Voyage and being able to actually really take control of the side lanes.
And when you pick Tahm Kench, you can pick an AD carry that normally has vulnerability as one of its biggest weaknesses. Varus has no ability to really get himself out of trouble, but when Kench is nearby with the Devour, that's not so much of an issue here anymore. FlyQuest going to respond to this by grabbing their own support there in the Braum and also locking in the Kindred for Santorin.
Yeah, second play for him. He had a monster performance on the Kindred, in his one showing during the LCS. Certainly was really, really good on the pick, and it can be a champion which really can take over a game. If you get ahead, this champion is incredibly strong. Certainly once you start picking up a lot of bounties, you're increasing your range. The team fighting is powerful. It also can shut down a lot of bursting and kind of dive style compositions, as that is something that Golden Guardians does like to do quite a lot. That being said, I think Urgot is a great answer into it, as the way that those 2 ultimates can actually interact. If you can actually, burst someone down, you can use the ultimate during the Kindred ultimate and then reactivate it right as it's expiring, not only to get the guaranteed kill, but to also fear everyone who is stacked up inside that ultimate.
Everybody likes to group up on tops of Lamb's Respite, and that is easy AoE CC for your boy Urgot. And remember, this is 9.6, as you already pointed out. That means the changes are in. Purge no longer gives this champion a shield. That has been replaced onto his Disdain, which is the dash. And now the machine gun becomes a permanent toggle at level 9. So it's going to be a lot of running and gunning here for everybody's favorite mechanical crab.
Also have to remember that we are seeing actually quite a bit of Urgot jungle. So this is not guaranteed to be in a solo lane. It's not guaranteed to be going up to Hanzo. This could actually be a contracts pick. Even earlier today in the LEC, it did get brought out there as a jungle pick, so going to be excited to see where it does end up.
Worth pointing out that Urgot also is Haunter's most played champion so far this split back before the nerfs, so either way, both of those players should be able to pilot it rather effectively. Now, looking at the bans that we're going into here with 2 picks remaining on each side, FlyQuest take out the Vel'Koz. They don't want that one showing up there in the mid lane, as well as the Irelia and Lucian being banned out by Golden Guardians.
Yeah, going to be interested to see where Wild Turtle does go. When you think of Turtle and some of his success recently, it has been, you know, the Jinx, which is a pick that a lot of people really are highlighting. That is available if FlyQuest did want to grab it up. But it depends, you know, are you comfortable actually laying that Jinx into this potential Varus? And Kennen very likely going to be the top lane pick here for Haunter. So, you know, that does really make it pretty likely that the Urgot is going to be going into the jungle and Froggen is saving his pick for last.
Right, especially in a matchup like this. You saw what the analysts were talking about. A lot of them having that Pobelter versus Froggen matchup very close to the middle, slightly leaning one way or the other. Crumbs the 51-49 comparison. And that means you want to do anything you can to tip those scales. That means giving Froggen counterplay.
Yep, and they're going to be able to do that, but Turtle will not go to the Jinx. He will go to another scaling teamfight style marksman. It is going to be the Kog'Maw here. We saw a lot of popularity in that pick last weekend due to varied success. It will be the first play for Turtle this split, and looking like Aatrox to be the lock-in. Very likely top 4 Viper has been much more his style of pick. It's actually his most played, and Pobelter has not run it at all so far this split. So you are expecting that to be Aatrox up in the top lane, but that is a little bit surprising when you consider that Kennen is considered to be one of the better matchups into the Aatrox 1v1. So we'll find out if there's going to be any kind of swap around here.
Well, that does mean that Pobelter on Lissandra will be playing his most played champion so far throughout spring as well. And Golden Guardians are saying,
our communications relay has been destroyed. Our shields are back online. Their bridge has been destroyed.
All engineers, report to the hangar area.
Beginning my attack run.
All engineers, report to the hangar area.
Target that bomber and take him down. Target that fighter Coming around.
All mechanical engineers report to the hangar area.
You've got a fighter on your tail.
All mechanical engineers report to the hangar area.
Nice finish, Trooper. The day is ours. Well done, gentlemen.
Always do whenever Kindred's in the game. Remember, the magic number is 4 to get those range bonuses once the bigger team fights start breaking out, if you truly want to be as relevant as possible.
Yep, definitely can be very, very critical. Also worth noting that Varus is actually playing Comet, so we're expecting more of a poke-style Varus. This could very well be lethality rather than the on-hit style build. Sometimes players will still do on-hit and just take Comet more for a little bit of laning pressure and poke there to try to keep down that Kog'Maw, but I do think that it could be quite effective to actually go the lethality style build when you don't really have any true tanks on this squad, right? You know, you're hitting Kindred, you're hitting Kog'Maw, or really any of them except a Braum, and you're going to be able to get some significant damage to try to soften them up for then the eventual dive, either coming through from Haunter and Karthus, with the ultimate, or Contract's trying to get someone to 20% and then kill them with his ultimate.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty smart strategy.
The poke seems like it makes a lot of sense to me as well. I mean, if you're looking to have a contest of straight-up auto-attacking DPS comparison with a Kog'Maw, you're usually going to lose that game, but if you can dial in some piercing arrows with 3 lethality items in inventory, you can swing things very heavily.
Yeah, I mean, you hit a piercing arrow with a lot of lethality on that guy and just drop a Karthus ultimate. Maybe Kog'Maw has to leave before the fight even starts, right? You can set up sometimes these situations where you're just discouraging the opponent from actually taking the team fight whatsoever, and we'll have to see how it actually comes out, when we do get to that 5v5 stage, when we do get, later on in the game, because Invert certainly was feeling comfortable about their situation, and even saying that he felt they really baited out the Urgot Karthus.
All right, here we go. It's going to be a 2 versus 2 in the mid lane. Pobelter going in with the claw. Santorin shows up behind him, but it looks like we're not going to see a whole lot more out of this fight just yet. Considering both sides realize it's a fair fight, nobody wants to play those kinds of games, and we all walk away.
Yeah, it's a well-positioned kind of counter gank coming in there from Contracts, just being behind Froggen when he was at this somewhat vulnerable situation, does keep him safe, and definitely he's going to have that recall stopped. Contracts has got to be careful.
There, Contracts maybe in some trouble. Santorin getting the better of him in the trade, and also because Pobelter had priority on the rotation, means Contracts has no choice but to get out of town.
And Santorin is significantly ahead as far as the farm actually goes at this early stage. He's already, full level up here essentially, and now they're actually TPing in with deftly.
That was not.
I am really confused.
Yes, sir. That's fine.
I mean, I guess they thought perhaps that they were actually going to be committing to that. Spending the TP seems like a lot to just kind of contest the grab. We'll see if he can actually get down to bottom lane before this wave crashes. He's likely going to lose a couple minions, but really because of the wave positioning, it wasn't that bad.
Meanwhile, topside, it's going to be a 1v1. Haunter and Viper getting into it here.
Oh, too slow!
World end in time! First blood to Haunter.
He was on the cast animation. He tried to greet it out there and just try to get Haunter's ultimate out for free. He waited until the last auto attack was in the air. You could see the World Ender animation coming out from Viper. That is a critical mistake. And when you talk about playoff experience, when you talk about veterans versus rookies, these are the kind of situations that you are so nervous about as a coach. So here this is one more time. Haunter, you know, this is a great trade regardless. The last auto is going to come in here. Viper sees it. He's like, yep, this is the one that kills me. World Ender, nope, too slow.
That was a 1/10 of a second off.
But why risk it?
Yeah.
You know, he was always going to be enraged to get that last auto out. So Viper certainly making a pretty costly error in an already favorable matchup there for Haunter. That is kind of the thing that you have nightmares about as a coach going into playoffs with a rookie. You're thinking, well, are they going to play up to their normal level? But certainly that is not a mistake you expect Viper to be making after the season he had.
Yeah, he's had an incredible season. This guy has really shown up for FlyQuest. He's been a reason they've won a lot of their games. I've been particularly impressed with him time and time again. But as you say, it all comes down to how do you mentally prepare for these playoffs, for best of fives. And for Viper there, that's a mistake that is going to cost him. It gives Haunter 400 gold. It gives Haunter a larger farm lead. And now Haunter is firmly in control here in this top side.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's almost 1,000 ahead when you're counting in all the Klepto gold and the additional minions that he's going to be able to pick up here as well. Pretty significant. Plus the fact that you're having to itemize somewhat defensively as Viper in this matchup already, right? He's rushing Merc Treads. This is going to mean that he's going to be so far behind the ball as far as when you're actually finishing your first major item.
Slicing Maelstrom coming out here again. Viper will not fall into the same trap a second time.
Never again.
Immediately sprouts those wings and flies away.
Yeah, but he's flying his way home back to base, right? So he's very likely going to have to drop the TP here. Haunter can be able to push in, reset without spending the TP. Viper actually deciding to stick around, but it will be Haunter completing the Proto Belt, you know, so early on, and then he's going to be set up to have early game success if it does come down to these Dragon team fights or, you know, fights around the Rift Belt.
And that's one thing I always like to point out about Proto Belt. You and I were actually having a discussion about items and cost completion comparisons earlier in the day, and Proto Belt only being a 2,500 gold item is incredibly effective for how early you can get it completed and make these things happen, as we could see a showdown here for this Mountain Drake. Both top laners having the teleport ready to go. You can see Viper getting back to base, making sure he's healed up and ready in case he needs to come into this fight, but it looks like both sides will walk away.
Yeah, both sides do disengage. Brock got a couple of those Qs down on the Cobalt. They're chunking him out a little bit, but it wasn't enough for Golden Guardians to feel actually confident to commit to that play. It's hard. It's looking pretty darn good here, you have to say, for Golden Guardians. It is Santorin starting this up again. Contracts has spotted it. Maybe a smite fight, but Santorin has the level advantage.
Santorin in the pick, going to be tanking up the Drake. Meanwhile, Ole taken very low. JJ also now going to be nearly killed. Contract going in. Not the fear. There you go. Kills coming away at Golden Guardians. Make it 2 for 0. They'll manage to pop both the bottom laners.
Wow, what a play there by Contracts. Definitely chunking them out, and this is the interaction you want to see with Poke plus Urgot. Definitely gets the player low. You see Contracts coming with the ultimate. He flashes in on top of Turtle. They get both kills. They'll get the Dragon as well. And that is so big for Contracts here in particular, because he had been falling behind in this jungle matchup. He had been getting out farmed. And now Santorin going to be put on the back foot.
Right back into it here for the Golden Guardians. Getting some money on not only that jungler, but the AD carry as well. Talking about Varus and wanting to hit those lethality points. Remember, lethality is much more effective the lower your opponent's armor is. Shredding 18 armor when a guy has a pool of 200, not that great. 18 armor against a guy with 50 does a lot. The faster you come online with that, the better off you're going to be. Let's take another look bottom side.
Yeah, and clearly, JJ and Turtle thought this was a fight that they could actually take, but a massive Dre health pool coming up there. JJ just gets chunked so low. Contracts, ultimate, flash, fear onto Turtle. Flips him in. 2 for 0 plus the Dragon. After that solo kill top lane for Golden Guardians means they are significantly in an advantage, and both solo lanes up over 20 farm, or right about that 20 farm mark here. Certainly looking quite good, and when you're adding Klepto Gold into the equation as well, it does make you a little bit nervous here as the FlyQuest team.
Nearly 2,500 lead here for Golden Guardians, just 12 minutes into the game. Mountain Drake already picked up. They'll also have some powerful objective control as the game pushes forward. We still have 2 more minutes until those turret plates fall, so that means Mountain Drake might be able to put some more gold in their pockets directly. and it'll also mean better chances at Baron later on.
Yeah, I mean, some of these cheaper items coming through already for Golden Guardians. You know, you talked about the Proto Belt, but Proto Belt Sword Boots, really strong early point here for Haunter. He's going to be close to level 11 as well as that Ghost Blade down on the bottom lane for Deathly. Having that early lethality item completed, going to be having him be pretty confident.
Bottom side, JJ looking to start things off here. Glacial Fissure going to throw Golden Guardians up in the air. Ole in some trouble, having to pop the thick skin, keeping himself alive only a moment longer, and Wild Turtle will make sure that FlyQuest grabs themselves a kill.
Yeah, nicely done there, utilizing the Braum. Such strong gank assist on this champion, and it does cost them his summoners, but they are able to execute on that, trade back a kill, and critically get it onto Turtle, right? So they're donating the kill to the right target, and gonna be feeling pretty good about that, but at the same time, it is Contracts up here on the top side. This has been spotted out, I do believe. There was actually a ward in the pit. So Cobalt are heading over, Santorin coming up, they're roaming up JJ. A lot of members in the area here. We'll see if they commit.
Oh, baby, it's going to be a fight.
JJ's low.
Haunter's coming in from the flank, seeing if maybe he can make something happen. JJ already going to be killed. Haunter here into the pit now, looking to start the fight off. Cobalt are going to be taken very low, nearly taken down. Rift Herald already evaporating. Viper tries to hobble his way out. The resurrection will bring him back, but it will not bring him back hard enough. A double kill for Deathly.
Yeah, that's 3 kills actually going the way of Golden Guardians, as Froggen just got a straight up solo kill onto JJ as he tried to walk over to the team, got cut off, got taken down. Critically though, FlyQuest at least did get the Rift Herald. Viper actually getting the last hit on the Rift Herald. It was neither of the junglers, and he does pick it up in his ultimate passive before getting killed off for good. So there is something coming out of that for FlyQuest, but certainly for now, the play is positive for the Golden Guardians. And here this is one more time. JJ's just trying to walk on past, but he gets tagged by that wall of pain and just easily killed off here by Froggen. So 1 down already, then Haunts are in on top of everyone. Contracts is actually very, very low and does get forced down. He had to use the smite to heal, I do believe. And there you can see Viper picking up that Rift Herald Eye, so it will go the way of FlyQuest, and we'll see if they can actually get anything from it. Turret plates have expired, but they would still love to use it to knock down that first trade.
One of the best feelings as a champion with a big circular AoE ultimate is getting the opportunity to fight in one of those epic monster pits. Perfect setup there for Hans to really make that fight sing. And Golden Guardians now have such an incredible lead. They've got 3,000 gold up, not 15 minutes into the game. They'll still have to answer that Rift Herald that you already mentioned. The Viper did manage to grab for FlyQuest, but so far, Golden Guardians have just seemed like everybody is on the same page. They seemed more of one mind.
They have been looking really good, I agree. And it's really scary for Turtle, because I do feel like against this sort of a team, the way that your team essentially creates space for you and peels is by diving, right? Because you don't have the Tom Kench or a Janna or a Lulu to just sit by and shield you and protect you through all of this damage that's going to come in. So it feels like FlyQuest wants to be the team that is engaging, that is going forward with Lissandra, the Aatrox is running in. That is actually creating the space for the Kog'Maw to attack. But if your soul laners are behind, if you are way down in gold, it becomes very difficult to be the proactive team, to be the one actually on that front foot engaging. And if they are sitting back, you're going to eventually be getting hit by some of this poke. And that can trigger the engage for Golden Guardians. Or, as I say, I mean, really, 1 piercing arrow into a rank 2 ultimate from Froggen probably means Wild Turtle just has to go to base and they have to give up whatever neutral they're fighting over.
And when you're comparing the items between these 80 carries right now, you've got Yumu's Ghost Blade, plus some cooldown boost, plus Dirk number 2 for the side of Deathly. Turtle's got his Blade of the Ruling King, but he still needs a lot more to really be super effective here on this Kog'Maw. Ole managing to keep teammates safe, as you would hope from Tom Kench. As bottom side, it's Golden Guardians grabbing themselves Mountain Drake number 2.
I love the Ghost Blade animation just coming out of Ole as he's running away there. Sparkles pouring out of Tom Kench's butt as he zooms off. And TP coming in behind here from Haunter. He has the ultimate ready.
Chains of Corruption gonna go wide. They won't find that start, but can they make the fight happen anyway? JJ gonna be locked up here, slicing Maelstrom, looking to find even more. Wild Turtle to flash out to stay alive, but it's still Golden Guardians grabbing 1 for 3.
I really like to play here for Golden Guardians, because not only do they get the kill and the flash, they protect first turret from going down. They will get first turret of their own. Viper will be able to trade back. We'll have to see how much they lose elsewhere, but Golden Guardians securing that first brick up significantly already. It will give Viper some time, though, to collect some gold of his own. We'll see if he can get a second charge off with Shelly.
That feels like such a good deny when the one card that your opponents had tucked away in their sleeve was Rift Herald, and you deny first turret bonus. Amazing movements there from the Golden Guardians, making that one happen. Hansel will show up not in time to stop Shelly's second charge, so at least for FlyQuest, you are going to get some bonus damage off of that one, but Hansel will make quick work of it after.
And he's sitting on double spell pen this early on. That is terrifying. You have to give some credit, though, to how FlyQuest actually managed this. Definitely did whip on the ultimate. It was a great ult from Braum to actually heal and buy some time. Otherwise, certainly Turtle would have gone down there as well. You do still, though, have Exhaust being used, Flash being used from Turtle, and now Turtle, without that Flash, there's not a lot to actually keep you safe against this sort of dive that could be coming through. So he's going to have to position very defensively for the next couple of minutes, and you also have to say, with double Mountain into Infernal, those are the kind of dragons that you want to have as Golden Guardians to be able to close out this game, because most people would love to get that Baron and utilize that to actually punish your opponents and be able to knock down these turrets, and they're in a great situation to do it. Now going to try to set up a dive on Viper here, 3v1. FlyQuest not even heading over, so it's up to Viper to survive. 4v1 now.
All right, Viper, what do you got? It's got to be something crazy. World Ender gets activated. He's going to be exhausted. Turret already taken out. And man, they're not even leaving anybody out of this one. He'll go into the resurrection, but it does not matter. Kill's even given over to Deathly, who goes unstoppable.
Seems a little bit overkill, honestly, to send so many members down. 5v1 there for Golden Guardians, but they do make sure of it. Not going to lose too much, honestly, here in the mid lane either. They will lose a couple minions on the top side, but very little damage going to the mid lane turret. Not much really to be traded back from FlyQuest, simply because Golden Guardians pushed the waves before they made the play.
Right.
And that is, something that they certainly want to get done. And this is also showcasing one of the reasons that a lot of people feel Ole is so strong on the Tahm Kench, because he is good at making these map movements, corralling opponents if they do go too far forward in side lanes, and that makes your job very difficult as a split pusher.
Now Golden Guardians moving up here in the mid lane with 3 men, trying to take down this tier 1 turret. Chains of Corruption fly out, Frog and Ultimate coming in. Gonna do a little bit of damage there, but the Karthus isn't quite in game yet. Pobelter, however, there's exactly what you were talking about, Zale. The Karthus Ultimate plus a piercing arrow that hadn't hit any other targets first, and Pobelter's in 1 quarter.
That's all it takes, right? That is why these compositions are so frustrating, because dodge as many skill shots as you like. It only takes 1, plus the Karthus Ultimate, which is not something you can dodge unless you do get that Banshee's Veil or you want to stopwatch it. But that alone is quite an expensive price to pay, because if you're getting the Zonius out, well then, hey, what protects you from Haunter actually diving in on you? So we'll see how they're going to be able to manage, but Golden Guardians have all the tools they need to really snowball this game and close it out. Baron is now on the map. I'd say they should really focus on the Infernal next. Try to, maximize the vision that they have over in this bottom side jungle. You can look at all the wards that they do actually have down there. It's all Golden Guardians in this area. They want to actually use this to secure themselves the Infernal, which is coming up in 50 seconds. Then, once that is down, hey, transfer that vision over to the Baron Pit, get the pink wards in this area, poke and harass anyone who's coming forward, secure yourself the Baron with double Mountain, close out the game.
An Infernal on a team that has everyone dedicated to DPS, plus Tahm Kench hanging out there, I guess, just feels so good. When you've got Kinnan in the top lane and Urgot in the jungle, everybody's going to be getting dividends from this Infernal buff that they could secure for themselves here in 25 seconds. But for now, the Golden Guardians are looking towards pushing out this top side and making sure FlyQuest stays on the back foot.
And Tahm Kench has a QSS now, so now there's not even really the option to actually ult the Tahm Kench and then try to burst down the Varus, because he can actually QSS that and then also act as the QSS for his teammate. And as we see, Deathly is already on triple lethality, right? So he is already having all of that built up. There is no armor on the other side. Look across the board. 0 armor has been purchased.
Literally none.
Near true damage to basically everyone on the entire FlyQuest squad. That means you just shoot with Abandon. It doesn't even matter who you hit at this point, and you're going to be putting out a tremendous amount of pressure.
He is currently negating 41 armor with the items in inventory. And when we look at the stats of the enemy team, 69, 66, 61, 61. Yeah, for the targets in terms of the carries, they effectively have 20 armor against this Baron.
That's paper.
that's not going to do a whole lot of anything when the piercing arrow itself just flies at you so incredibly hard. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier with price points. Your opponents just aren't ready.
Exactly, and it's also one of those situations where you can say, okay, well, build some armor, right? And yes, that may be something that they have to do, work towards a GA or whatever. But that being said, there's a good, diverse damage profile on Golden Guardians. They have a Karthus and a Kennen who are also fed, and that's going to be terrifying as well. And now they're looking for the play on Frog, and here comes Contracts.
Starting a fight off on an enemy Karthus when backup is nearby is not a situation you can win. We're gonna see if they can make something happen now. Here comes Haunter, slicing Maelstrom into the back line, seeing if maybe they can lock somebody down. Meanwhile, in the river fight's also gonna be breaking out. It's 2 dead on the side of FlyQuest. Golden Guardians pick them both up and head for the objective.
Yeah, they should start this up immediately. Santorin is still alive, but he was at 20% health, 10% health, pushed back to base. He's recalling. This is gonna be a free Baron for the Golden Guardians. They have been right place, right time this whole game, shadowing Froggen there as he pushed out. And they are just dominating FlyQuest.
Even if FlyQuest thought they got the better of the draft this game, ever since they hit the Rift, it just seems like Golden Guardians have been playing better.
Exactly. I mean, the draft is an advantage. And if you get what you want, you're going to be happy, you're going to be feeling comfortable. And Invert may be sitting there still happy with the draft, feeling that it's down to execution. But a game like this certainly can shake you. If you're coming in and you're saying, great, we got the perfect draft. They did everything that we expected, and you got slammed. It is certainly a scary position to be in. The stopwatch coming through clutch for Froggen, then just drops the Requiem. Clutzer has been everywhere, it feels like, with these TPs, every single one. Getting huge value. You can see them losing off both sides. Golden Guardians just feel like they're getting 5 members to the play so damn fast every single time.
And when you've got 3 teleports on your team, it's pretty easy to do here for these guys. You can see the gold difference over time just turning into
Stairway to Heaven.
Ocean of... That looks more like the Stairway to Hell, my friend. That thing's bright red and it's going down. As
Depends what side you're on.
Well, I guess, yeah, if you're Golden Guardians, it's going straight up, as this side now has 8,000 gold up over their opponents. They've got Baron up and running on 5 members. They are pushing everywhere on the map at the same time. You've got your strong AP carries in the side lanes. Meanwhile, the mid lane is just deftly with this bodyguard Tom Kench with QSS, like you already said. Nigh impossible to catch these guys out, shoving up. Haunter has not been afraid of Viper this entire game. He's got a 50 CS lead on him, and ever since that first solo kill, it's just seemed almost unimportant to even consider Viper solo killing or having any sort of a threat against Haunter, because it just won't happen.
He's just gotten so far behind, right? And it's allowed Haunter to always have TP advantage. It's Viper trying to TP back to base, or rather to lane, to try to defend turrets, to try to get farmed. And Haunter always has his TP available because he always has the push, so he's responding across the map so much more effectively. And now it's Golden Guardians looking to put their final stamp on this game. They're pushing in. Froggen may get picked, but they could lose an inhibitor for it.
Froggen does use the flash. He gets himself away, and they've wasted so much FlyQuest time. That means they're going to lose that inhibitor in the bottom lane.
But for FlyQuest, what else can you really do? You can't actually match up 5v5, so I do think that you need to try to force these sorts of plays. You need to try to get the odd man fight to delay the inevitable push, right? You know, maybe that gets Golden Guardians to back off. Instead, it is just a trade. Now it's going to be the 4-man squad of Golden Guardians going mid lane, pushing that up. Froggen will continue to corral these minions in through the top lane. And supers are going to be spawning on the next wave on bot side.
And remember, when we watched these teams play their tiebreaker and FlyQuest was using their substitute jungler,
no flash on Froggen.
Froggen could be in some trouble. Trying to get himself away from Santorin here. Going to be locked down, rooted up. Lamb's Respite has to go out. The rest of Golden Guardians now coming in. Seeing if maybe they can keep him alive. And Ole is there. Devour at the final hour. They're going to keep Froggen in the game and eviscerate FlyQuest topside.
That's going to do it, Flowers. You got to say that's got to be the straw that broke the camel's back here. Golden Guardians up 11,000 plus gold. You fully commit to killing Froggen, can't even get the 1 kill. And Golden Guardians just gonna march it down, knock down another inhibitor. Even if they don't close it here, the game is all but over.
Machine gun popping off. Right there goes the inhibitor. That is 2 down on the side of FlyQuest. 12,000 gold lead. And that is so disheartening to not even be able to finish that kill on Froggen.
Yeah, I mean, they are fully committing to this. And is it a desperate play? Yes, but desperate times call for desperate measures. They're so far behind. And this is a situation where They want to kill off Froggen before Santorin gets low, but because Froggen is so far ahead and Santorin is so far behind, he can't actually put in enough damage to force the kill before the Lamb's fight has to come down. Once that happens, Froggen says thank you very much. He sits in that, buys time with the immunity from death. Olay comes in with the flash save. And easy as you like, you walk away. All of their members are falling down. The game certainly crumbling around them, and Infernal coming up next to add insult to injury.
And as we've been discussing how these attempted picks onto Froggen, both in the mid lane and in the jungle, have not worked, I want to be very clear for everybody watching at home. I'm not condemning these plays as bad.
Not at all.
I fully agree that this is what you have to do. Yes, it is a 5% chance to work, but sitting back and waiting on them to push as 5 is a 1% chance to work.
Yeah.
So it's the lesser of two evils. It's what you have to do. I applaud FlyQuest for trying something as opposed to just sitting back and letting your opponents win. But this is a mountain to climb.
It really is, you know, and it's the difference to me between playing to win and playing to not lose, right? You know, if you sit back and you try to play to not lose, you try to give up everything and say, okay, well, we'll turtle in our base. You're just falling further and further behind in the gold. You're giving over full vision. You're giving over everything, and you're really just depending completely on your opponents to basically troll the game away, right? And this is FlyQuest trying to be proactive, trying to make something happen from a desperate situation, but they are just too far behind. Froggen is 16, Haunter is 16, Deathcap is online. It's gonna take a miracle here for FlyQuest to stay alive on this push.
Golden Guardians 5 men strong in the top side. They recognize that they've got super minion split push in both other lanes, so why not just put everybody in the same place? They'll take down that final inhibitor turret. FlyQuest trying to disengage this one. JJ barely getting out, trying to not get caught by the Urgot execution. He will escape that threshold, but the inhibitor will not stand. Baron spawning in 10 seconds means Golden Guardians can either go for the win right here or make the safer play. Go for the Baron instead.
Oh my
wow! Comet.
Yeah. That is legit. 1Q, 1 ult, boom, dead. Get off the map.
1Q, 1 ult, and a Comet. Come on now.
Okay.
Let's throw that extra little bonus thingy in there. As into the backside goes the Haunter ultimate. They're going to just cut FlyQuest completely out of the rim. They'll do what they can to hold the line, but FlyQuest will stand no longer. Golden Guardians make themselves one hell of an entrance into the playoff scene. They will take FlyQuest down in game number 1, and they will take the lead in this series.
Golden Guardians not content at all to just make playoffs. They look like they are hungry for that semifinals berth. And for FlyQuest, back to the drawing board after a game 1 in which your coach said you got everything that you wanted. You baited out the picks from Golden Guardians, and then you got destroyed.
I don't think you simply just bait out Karthus Froggen. I don't think that's like going fishing and then a big old shark comes up and eats your boat. I got him with the bait. Not exactly what you want to be looking for there, but for Golden Guardians, that game is just what the doctor ordered. Again, going back to the rough start this team had, it seemed like there were a lot of communication problems. They just couldn't find what worked. And over the split, we've got to see that gradual improvement up until the point we're at now, where they look like a mean, lean fight machine, and FlyQuest couldn't keep up.
Yeah, they certainly couldn't. I think that Golden Guardians had a very intelligent game plan. They had, winning top lane. They were able to actually draft this poke-style build with their Varus that was going to be able to get them advantages and going to be able to use the executes from contracts as well as Froggen's ultimate to actually be able to finish off kills and secure objectives. And I think they played it out brilliantly.
It was a very well done match by Golden Guardians. And for more on how it did play out, let's go ahead and get a breakdown. Steve Farmion.
Thank you, gentlemen. Azael calling out the strategy and game plan from Golden Guardians here going into game 1 as they secure the victory over FlyQuest to put the series at 1-0. Jungle Urgot was a part of that plan and strategy. The first one we've seen here in the LCS. Let's break down this pick before we dive into the rest of Champs League.
So obviously changed on 9.6. There's a lot of stuff that went on. The shield went from the W to the E. The alt range got extended. A lot of total AD ratios became bonus AD ratios. But the big thing is the niche shotguns. There used to be a debuff applied that would stack up that would do 10% reduced damage to the same target. So by the end of 3 niche shotguns, we were only doing 70% damage. that is completely removed. So now when you're in the jungle and you have the time between camps to rebuild those back up, you obliterate camps with your niche shotguns, you actually get a pretty decent clear, and then the extra range helps with your team fighting. The fact that you are incentivized to build AD means Warrior being built early and getting a big AD spike on your first item is all great stuff for jungle Urgot.
And I can't wait to dive into this draft because I think it sucks for FlyQuest. I'm simply okay. Golden Guardian's support has been feeding when he's not on Tam Kench. You let Tam Kench go through, and to top things off, you first pick Lissandra, which is hard countered by Tam Kench. You single target, oh, he just devours it. It just makes no sense. That was one of the weakest points for Golden Guardians all season long. You let them have one of their best picks, and of course you're going to have a very difficult time overcoming that.
Right. This was a destruction of the game and a destruction of the draft. Like, both concepts. You have 3 losing lanes, and you get outscaled. I can see the idea of having a Frogma Kindred, but your versus of a Folk Bears, which counters that, and then a Karthus, so it's just like, you lose the early game, you lose the mid game, you lose the late game. What do you got going for you?
And the thing was, it wasn't like this came out of nowhere. These are all new surprise picks. It's like, this is Golden Guardians like bread and butter. You give them Tahm Kench, like you said, Karthus as well. You have Urgot, which they've been playing a ton of, and Kennen, which is one of Haunter's most played champs. It's like, they gave them what they wanted, and they had like what's supposed to be a master plan to counter it, but they didn't. They just countered themselves.
Right. I think that to me is the key there, right? Like, I'm fine with giving the champions that you'd expect over to a team, but you better have crafted the perfect counter to that thing that you expect to show in game 1, and it just wasn't there.
So their first ban, second ban was Gangplank. Why not ban Tahm Kench? And if you keep at least the first pick Lissandra, now it makes a little bit more sense here. Lissandra has a lot more options. So the Gangplank is not something we've seen a lot from Golden Guardians, so they're maybe trying to anticipate something good in the patch. And for a first game in a best-of-5 series, that's usually a risky move. Just go with what you know they've already done before, and then develop as a series.
I think we have to give credit, though, to Golden Guardians for the other side of the draft. The intelligence that it takes to put your most rookie player in deftly on a very safe, poke-oriented AD carry, saying, hey, let's not force this guy into uncomfortable or risky situations on his first time out. Let's go ahead and give him something that he can play safe when he does hit that Q. It gives the rest of the team permission to take a fight. I want to dive into some gameplay here because I don't think the problems were, isolated to the draft for FlyQuest. The whole game along, they seem to be a step behind the play, just outpaced by Golden Guardians and then disjointed when they did react.
And that's what happens when you have so many losing lanes. It takes you a long time to set up for these plays. So they had the sight that Golden Guardians was doing this, but it just took them so long to collapse for this that, sure, you get the steal of the Herald, some sort of compensation price, but the play was way
They barely got it. I believe contracts might have, and it went down to 1 HP after this might. I'm pretty positive I just saw. So it's like, they barely got their withdrawal, too.
It's just the coordination behind all of it, too. Like, Braum's getting sold out by the Karthus on the side. Even if that wasn't happening, everyone was funneling into a pit versus Ken and Karthus. Like, that fight's gonna go really bad, no matter how you break that down. So I think, FlyQuest kind of got to wake up a little bit. It feels like they need their coffee or something, because the draft wasn't good and the in-game wasn't good.
I mean, I see the idea of Lissandra into Karthus. You pick Lissandra to try and gank him, right? But every time I see Froggen play Karthus, he's never in a position to die. He's so good at the champion and not dying. He's not running cleanse, he's running TP, and he's at 0 death.
I do think that there was an opportunity where Pobelter and Santorin could have won the 2v2 because they went on the fight middle. Karthus had no mana, so it's a super heads-up play when you say, ignore Karthus. He actually can't do anything. He has no mana. Because if you kill him, he obviously gets his passive.
Then he gets
goes
passive,
up. But if you flash ult the Urgot, you follow up with Kindred, you get the play, and Karthus is just auto-attacking. He doesn't even have hands. He's a ghost.
Yeah, maybe a misread there early on where they could have gotten some advantages. Looking ahead, I actually want to revisit the predictions from the top of the day. We didn't throw them out there during countdown. We didn't have the time. So these predictions were made prior to Game 1, just so everyone at home is aware, because Game 1 might influence. But let's reconcile these predictions alongside Game 1's result and maybe defend what your team or prediction might have to do in the next game to come away with the series score that you're calling. FlyQuest here for the first 2 guys.
You know,
take the floor, High. Take the floor.
Honestly, I'm hoping that the next 3 games don't go that way. In fact, the Golden Guardians manager was flaming me earlier, which is fair. But I gotta say,
now.
I was expecting FlyQuest to put up a better fight, but they had a lot of issues in this game and outside of the game, and hopefully they'll shore that up.
Right, so what needs to happen in Game 2 to be the FlyQuest you expected to come in today and win the series?
Here's what you do. You ban Tahm Kench, or you first pick it, then you pick heavy action junglers, so Jarvans, your Elises, your Rek'Sais. then you focus the bottom lane or you focus the mid lane. Ignore top lane. Let Viper do what he did. Well, actually, let's have him do that again.
Do better than what he did.
Just focus the bottom lane. Literally, just get Tom Kench gone, and then just go down there 24/7.
All right. Mark, for Golden Guardians, they look good right now.
Yeah, I was like, do I need to give him advice? I do think the 3-2 series prediction, I expect FlyQuest to bounce back because there was so much wrong in that game that it actually is like, well, we can fix a lot of that very quickly.
And if you do, it'll be substantial.
Yeah, right. Because it was so wrong, you can fix so much.
Right. I hear that. Golden Guardians, they picked up game 1. We'll see if FlyQuest can even the score when we return for game 2. You're watching the LCS Spring Playoffs.
Meanwhile, topside is going to be a 1v1. Haunter and Viper getting into it here.
Oh, too slow!
World end in time.
Good job, Kevin. This guy's trolling.
JJ also now going to be nearly killed. Contract going in with the burns up the fear. There you go. Kills coming the way of Golden Guardian. JJ already going to be killed. Haunter here into the pit now, looking to start the fight off. Pobelter going to be taken very low, nearly taken down. Rift Herald already evaporating.
Brando no flash, Brando no flash. Deadless.
Meanwhile, topside is going to be a 1v1. Haunter and Viper getting into it here.
Oh, too slow!
World end in time.
Good job, Kevin. This guy's trolling.
JJ also now going to be nearly killed. Contract going in with the burns up the fear. There you go. Kills coming the way of Golden Guardian. JJ already going to be killed. Haunter here into the pit now, looking to start the fight off. Pobelter going to be taken very low, nearly taken down. Rift Herald already evaporating.
Brando no flash, Brando no flash. Deadless. Yeah.
Ole is there. Devour at the final hour. They're going to keep frogging in the game and eviscerate FlyQuest topside. Golden Guardians can either go for the win right here or make the safer play. Go for the Baron instead. Wow!
Oh, we can. Wait, what? Hey, let's go.
Oh no, are you okay, Mike?
Yeah, I got a pretty big fender bender here.
Don't worry, State Farm's got you covered.
That's great to hear. Robin, what's going on?
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I think so.
We're gonna get you a tow truck, Mike.
Thank you. Little fender bender going on. Fender bender. Fender bender. Fender bender. Fender bender. Everybody remain.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
On the other side of the bridge.
Last year when we first beat Team Liquid, the fans went absolutely crazy because we were like this hardcore last place team that no one thought would beat anyone. Like they thought we'd just go like 0-18 or whatever. And when we beat them, the feeling like all the players had, the coaching staff, the entire organization, it was crazy. Like it felt like I could like see color again. And I want to do that again and make it very far into this playoff run and show that we are capable as a team.
Clear the hangar area. Repeat, clear the hangar
Hello
area.
and welcome back for game number 2
Pilots
between
and
FlyQuest and
Marines,
Golden
get to your
Guardians.
ships.
If
The
you want to
Jedi
catch
are
the playoffs
depending on
live, join us here at the LCS studios in Los
Incoming
Angeles,
pilots, take 'em
California.
out.
Tickets are available at riot.com/LCS tickets. You can come in and watch everything live here from the glory and grandeur of the arena itself. I promise it is a hell of an experience. You can hear it in the crowd right now.
You can also eat a donger dog.
Yes, we have those too.
Yep.
I don't remember what everything else is, but it's all league-themed food. So if you ever wanted to eat the Rift and not just beat the Rift, get on over here. Now, heading into game number 2, Golden Guardians have chosen red side.
That's true. So going to be sitting on that red side. I think it makes a lot of sense after how game 1 went. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? You know, get yourself that counter pick, get yourself that last pick for Froggen, who I think especially even more so than some of the other players, you know, is so strong when he gets comfortable picks for him. He has a unique set of champions that he is extremely good at, including that Karthus, and immediately Tahm Kench banned away. You know, I called it out during the first pick ban that is something that I was a little bit surprised wasn't banned out. Now they are going to rectify that issue as it really did shut them down so heavily, and Olay has been amazing on it.
Yep.
But this is certainly, you know, a step away from what they were doing the first time around with the Gangplank ban, you know, with the Rise ban. You know, a lot of focus was up to Haunter, so we'll see if there's going to be more of that in this second pick ban, or if they want to take away something like the Karthus, or maybe target Froggen a little bit more, because those picks certainly were big for them.
Golden Guardians bans are going to look pretty similar. Kali and Silas both banned away here again. FlyQuest taking out the Tahm Kench, the Irelia, and the Varus. So FlyQuest saying, look, we hated both parts of your bottom lane, and we don't want to deal with either of them again.
It wasn't just the Tahm Kench. We also were not okay with you one-shotting our AD.
Yeah, we were equally as tilted by the 2-shot on our Kog'Maw at the end of the game, so we would rather avoid that reality here again.
Can't blame them.
I can't either. That is not exactly a big counterplay type of situation where I guess you could just dodge the arrow. Just dodge the arrow, man.
Yep.
That's all you got to do. But Golden Guardians will now ban out Rise as their final ban here this time around. Let's see how FlyQuest will start things off. Last time, it was with Sandra. We'll see if that's what they want to go for here again, or if maybe they're thinking, okay, that pick was pretty well countered. We weren't able to do much with it. Try something else, and apparently they will. It's first pick Jace.
Yeah, first pick Jace. They're very likely going to be for Viper, as we have been certainly seeing a lot more of the top lane Jace, but I do have to mention that we have seen it mid, jungle, and bot throughout this split for different teams, so there is the possibility that it will be flexed around, and yet we haven't seen Viper play a single Jace game so far this split. Actually, no one on FlyQuest has played a Jace game so far this split, so will be a first for someone. But certainly if you do watch Viper play, if you watch his stream, Jace is one of his preferred picks, and he is very good at it.
Well, over on the side of Golden Guardians, it's going to be Galio and a Jarvan locked in, the dunk bucket. Jarvan makes the bucket, and Galio dunks you in it with the ultimate combination. So we'll see how well this works out. Galio, remember, most commonly played in the support role these days. But also worth noting, Olay doesn't have any games on him so far this split.
Yeah, and it is also worth pointing out, we have been seeing, you know, recently somewhat of a shift back towards a bit of Galio mid lane. So do have to consider that it could be Froggen. Though it does not feel at all like a Froggen pick.
No.
You know, this is not the kind of farm it up, scale till late, be a beast later on style of pick. This is something that you have to be much more proactive with in the early stages. That's not to say he can't play it though. He does have one game on early in the split that he did play that Galio kind of before some of the changes that did really push it towards that support role. Either way though, very, very strong engage wrapped up in the first couple of picks here for Golden Guardians, and it will be the Elise coming through for Santorin. So something that can be very proactive in those early levels. It is one of the strongest early game junglers, I feel, as far as ganking. Also, when I see Jace and I see Elise as a top laner, there's almost nothing I actually want to play. Like, you're going to be pushed in, they're going to be bullying you as the Jace, and then you have probably the best diving jungler early on to be paired with that, so that is terrifying for Hanser, and going to put a lot of onus on him to be playing safe, to be playing smart, and not get smashed.
Yeah, if you're playing top lane against this in solo queue, you just accidentally dodge, grab yourself a sandwich, queue up again in 5 minutes.
Or, alternatively, just blame the jungler if you get doped. It wasn't there.
Exactly. I've been the jungler on the receiving end of that. OMG Skarner, why not up here? I'm level 2, bro, sorry.
Fell off my first camp, died so low. Give me a minute.
Golden Guardians is saying, all right, if you don't want the Lissandra this time around, we're going to go ahead and take it. Also, another wonderful champion to combo with the Galio ultimate. Go into the claw, Galio comes in, slam dunk it behind you. FlyQuest will ban out Kalista this time around. Golden Guardians banning out the Zoe.
I will say it's pretty exciting, actually, to see such a different look in the second draft here from the Golden Guardians. Like, this is so heavily dive and engaged from all of their first 3 picks. They are certainly showcasing a different style. This could be a Frog and Lissandra. It also could be going up to Hanser on the top side if he did want to play that. I will say, though, before you are level 6, that is a champion that is very, very diveable by Jace and Elise. We'll see if they can play around that, though. Jarvan does have good counter gank potential. You know, if Elise is to repel in for a gank, you certainly are very going to do that light drag in and counter gank. So we're going to have to see where they want to go with these last couple of picks.
I really, really like this insta-locked in Lucian on the side of Golden Guardians. What I was about to say before that was, for Golden Guardians draft, I really don't want to see some hang-back artillery-style AD carry. Everybody else is going in, and you need to get on the party bus.
You know what? It'd be interesting if this is a Frog and Lissandra and Hanser wants to go for something, you know, a little bit more out of the ordinary. You know, I do think Kale on 9.6 is incredibly strong, and, you know, yes, you would get punished in those early levels, but being able to actually just key trade with the Klepto, and in the later stages for the dive, having a Kale ultimate on one of these divers is incredibly strong. Not sure if he's going to be willing to go for it, but even something like a Malphite, if you want to play a more safe style, can be very strong, but it's going to be Swain for Pobelter.
I like this pick.
Right, okay.
Swain and Braum put together are great counter initiators for all the dive coming out from Golden Guardians. Ezreal is slippery as all hell for an AD carry. Very difficult to get on top of. And Golden Guardians' final pick, as you said, it's the Yorick.
So Yorick is actually a pick that I do believe is a good matchup into Jace, and it's something that I've played a tremendous amount and really do kind of pretty strongly feel that it's a strong pick. That being said, still winless in the LCS throughout the entire split. We have had a whole split long of people playing this pick. Not even one win really has been picked up. So people have been struggling to play with it, struggling to play around it. I will say, as far as the Jace versus Yorick matchup goes, Yorick needs some levels. The early levels are always going to be very heavily in Jace's favor. That being said, once you are, you know, something like 4 or 5, whatever, you can start actually getting those duels out. Every time you hit that Jace with it, Jace is not having a lot of sustain in his kit, not building lifesteal. You can actually poke it down with the duels. You can cage him up. And once you are actually in a position where you can win that all in, the hammer form is the only way he can get out of that besides flash, and that is an aggressive tool, not a defensive retreat style tool. So Yorick can be very strong post 6 in that one.
Moving into the second game now, I know I am specifically going to be looking at Santorin on FlyQuest on an early game playmaker on Elise. When you have a volatile split push matchup to influence, when you have a hard dive enemy team composition that is set behind will not be able to play to their win condition, there is a lot of weight on your shoulders to carry that one through the early game.
Yeah, and I'm looking at not only the junglers, but the top laners, right? I think that a huge amount of this game can be decided in the first 10 minutes in 2v2 top. Because if one side puts their split pusher massively ahead, it's going to be so hard for either Jace or Yorick to claw their way back into this game. It's so imperative that people get the roams off the top lane, that they protect their top laners from potential dives or ganks, because that is such a swingy matchup, and both those champions are just abysmal from behind.
All right, as the players make their way out on the Rift and the chants begin from the audience, let's check in with another sideline report. This time, Amelie standing by with an arrow.
Thanks, Flowers. Anero, during game 1, we heard Invert say that he felt really good about his draft because he baited out the Urgot and the Karthus from you guys, but I mean, you wiped the floor with them in game 1. So what do you think about the draft so far, both in game 1 and game 2?
Draft's been pretty good. We're getting everything we're happy with, so if it's baiting us into it, I mean, we're getting what we want. So if we're winning doing that, cool. Let's keep doing that.
Love the coach mind games. But Anero, thank you so much, and best of luck to you and the team. Back to you guys.
Even if we get baited, as long as we win, all rats, we got baited. I can agree with him on that sort of a philosophy. As we're on to Summoner's Rift here, I want to see specifically, because we're talking about FlyQuest and we're talking about the difference that you have to have going into playoffs. I mean, there are some veteran names on this roster, people like Pobelter and Wild Turtle, but we already mentioned how Viper is still pretty fresh blood in the LCS. When you're off to a shaky start like that first game, I want to see how well these guys bounce back.
Yeah, the bounce back is going to be huge. We all saw what happened in game 1. You're getting solo killed there, slowly dying without actually activating the Aatrox's ultimate. That was huge, right? He got put so far behind, and that set the pace for a lot of the rest of the game. So we're going to have to see how he's going to be able to bounce back here in game number 2. Also worth pointing out is a Spellbook Swain, so very atypical there. My guess here is he wants to be able to have access to something like the Cleanse without actually giving up TP. So you can actually add your 6 minutes or so mark, you can swap over to the Cleanse and have a bit of an answer to Death of Sandra. Having some of those combat summons can be very powerful in the fights, but as far as your laning phase, it is generally weaker, without something like the Grasp or the Aerie to allow you to scrap a little bit more.
All other summoner spells are pretty standard. You do see the Jarvan with the electrocute.
Skywalker took advantage of the opportunity
we created heavy gang power this time around. Froggen on the losing into some trades, even without Pobelter having a combat summoner, combat keystone, I should say.
I mean, hitting those never moves is always going to be such a powerful trade. You yank them back in, you get that soul shard that you're pulling out, which is actually giving you a heal as well. So there's some very effective trading that is going down here from Pobelter, but it looks to me that Froggen is just prioritizing the shove, right? He's just trying to actually push this in so heavily to be able to threaten side lanes, to be able to threaten answering at the scuttle. And they will see Santorin over here, so they're going to get eyes on him.
Santorin does have Smite to make sure he gets this crab. He does go for it, doesn't want to risk Froggen jumping in there and stealing that one away.
It is going to feel nice, at least, though, on the side of Haunter, to know that at least he's not in the rush, waiting to actually die. His contracts is behind him, so Jace is now put in a little bit of an awkward situation where they don't have eyes on the enemy jungler. He's got to be kind of careful, because if he gets caged in here, slowed down, he could actually go down, and the ghouls are ready to come out now.
This ATTE is out of commission.
Contract's top side, and you can tell that Viper knew something was up by the movements of the Yorick. He took a couple steps past that normal line of safety, so he errs on the side of caution, which is actually no error at all in this case because Contracts was right there. Mid lane, you can see plenty of minions built up now. Pobelter's able to naturally shove back towards his opponent after being under the turret there for a while.
I mean, it's a smart thing to be actually tracked there by Viper, right? If someone is playing so defensively the whole lane and they're just kind of randomly stepping forward, it does red flag. Give you an inkling there, as you say, it's a red flag that perhaps the jungler is coming, even if it is just kind of a little bit of a bluff. Hey, it's worth stepping back. It's worth actually paying some attention to see that and not falling behind in the matchup. So pivotal when you're going into later stages. It's going to decide the side lane. It's going to decide who has that skill push advantage. And there's no Tom Kench to swing it back this time. So you have to really watch out for that, especially when you don't have as much side lane assistance and the other team has Galio and Froggen can roam up here on Lysandra. It feels like Haunter's going to get more help.
Talking about the Galio specifically, I want to shift the lens over to Ole here for a moment because he had a good game last game. We applauded his Tom Kench play. He helped the team get around. He made sure they always had the numbers advantage. He had the saves when he needed to have the saves. And Ole's a player who has come under fire so far this split. In some of Golden Guardian's worst games, it's his performances that people have called out and said there were some mechanical errors here, there were some decision-making errors here. And so for Ole especially, I think this is about proving yourself. This is the guy who was the support on the Team Liquid that won back-to-back splits. This guy was part of a very successful roster, and this is your opportunity now to be a part of this crew that has these members from other big teams and say, oh yeah, it wasn't just the rest of Team Liquid. I'm here and I can make all this happen.
And I think that's something that's has to be a bit of a frustration for Ole when you're thinking it's not even just TL, right? He was actually at Worlds with Immortals, made a finals, and he had been to playoffs, had all the success, was voted actually best support in the league when he was on Immortals, and yet there still are so many questions thrown at him, there's so many criticism thrown towards him. But this is his third team in as many years, and he's on playoffs on all of them, right? So certainly there is some credit that is deserved by him, and we'll see if he's going to be able to kind of prove some of the doubters wrong going forward, as a lot of people are speculating that it's going to be TL choosing whoever is the winner from this, right? You know, that it is going to be FlyQuest or Golden Guardians who have to face TL. And there's guys on both sides that want to prove to TL that they made the wrong choices, right? You're looking at Pobelter and Olay, two people who were cast aside after winning back-to-back championships with Team Liquid.
Now Golden Guardians deciding they're going to take a fight here. Olay going in with the initiation. Justice Punch into the flash, into the taunt. JJ going to be taken very low, nearly getting himself killed, but somehow getting out. First blood over to Contracts. Golden Guardians grab themselves one, but can they get anything else? Haunts are going to be kept alive, just barely off to the side, surviving the onslaught from Santorin. Contracts is low, but not dead just yet. Santorin, he grabs himself a revenge kill and takes out the enemy top laner.
Nicely done there by Santorin. Big kill to be able to grab on Haunter. When Haunter had to actually TP down to that, his wave is pretty screwed in the top lane. It's actually stacking and pushing towards Viper. He lost his ultimate, he lost his summoners, so that is going to be helping out Viper quite a bit. That is a fat wave that will push in for Viper to grab.
Juicy, juicy money waiting here for the Jace, who will be walking his way back up to the top side. And let's take another look at how this fight started. It was Olay pulling the trigger.
Early Ocean Dragon here. They start up, and in they go. Flash hunt onto multiple members there. JJ, just barely squeaking out, but does fall down to that red buff burn. And Pobelter coming in here with the Swain ultimate up is such a hard target to actually re-engage onto, because if you do not have the burst, you cannot actually finish off that fight. You cannot fully commit to it. And it does result in just the 1-for-1 kill and no side being able to claim that dragon.
I really like the flash before the taunt coming out from Olay, because he knows if the opponent from flashes out, my flash follows him and catches him anyway. Even if he doesn't, this is guaranteeing I also grab turret.
Yep.
Really good positioning here.
Was very well done, and now it's going to be a sneaky dragon here from Santorin, who actually just repel over the wall, straight down to the dragon. He's going to be able to basically solo this one up. That is an 8-minute Ocean, very, very big for these guys when you're looking at all of these mana-hungry members on this side, right? It's 5 mana bars you're looking at on FlyQuest. Ezreal can be really, really happy about that. Jace as well. It's going to give him the sustain that work off some of the grasses that can come through the pools and can make any lane matchup much more difficult, particularly be really closely.
And talking about mana and Ezreal, I also want to point out as a gank is about to start here in the top side. We'll see if they decide to go with this.
3-man top.
Monster and Contracts just buying a couple extra moments, waiting for Frogger to show up. Now they're going to be starting things off. EQ combo goes through, damage comes in, and Viper goes home in a body bag. Ladies and gentlemen, Golden Guardians grab their second kill of the game.
Yeah, that is really well done. You want to pay attention to these side lanes. I talked about how critical it's going to be, and this time it's not only Contracts, but it's Frogger coming up, and I think they know Santorin is around. We'll see if they want to go for a repeat, but looks like they're just stealing away the blue buff as Santorin comes up here to clear this out. So really well done by Golden Guardians.
It can be kind of sloppy to dive in Elise as well, because she has the ability to repel and make you take out turret shots, so I can understand not going for that one. That does mean Pobelter gets some alone time with the mid lane tier 1. More plates going his way. Despite the fact that it's a kill lead for Golden Guardians, it's still an overall gold lead for the side of FlyQuest. Froggen is not where he wants to be in this fight.
Nope, getting chunked out pretty heavily there, but to his credit, pretty much dead even in farm. He's the one that makes the roam, affecting that side lane split push. So this is a bit of a different look than what you expect from Froggen, right? He's so known for playing these incredible late game carries, for farming and prioritizing himself, but this game is going to be taking more of a backseat role, right? It's more about roaming and initiating and kind of giving up for the rest of your squad when you are playing this Lissandra. So far, he's doing well with that.
Talking about late game, what I was going to mention before we saw the play in the top side, remember, 9.6, new patch, new changes. One of the biggest of most is you can no longer have double tier items. This affects a grand total of 1 champion in the entire game, which happens to be Ezreal. You will no longer see the double tier stacking, hyper late game scaling, Seraph's Embrace plus Muramana build. Instead, he'll have to go with something else after that first tier is completed.
Yeah, and we are seeing some different looks as to what that something else is. Some players are going back to a more heavily AD style build, just getting something like Scimitar as that 4th item, and
take out their primary defense
back in the mid lane. But there are also still options that are kind of more similar to what you were doing before. You can actually go a Luden's in place of that Seraph, and yes, you are not going to have that shield for the additional safety, but it is a very high style build. It's still 20% CPR, as well as the Proc on it can be pretty powerful if you want to kind of itemize more heavily towards AP and the Poke builds.
FlyQuest currently enjoying a 1,500 gold lead over Golden Guardians early on in this game. Clearly having a much better time around this time than they did in game number 1. Rod of Ages up and running on the Swain. Wonderful item to have done super early, because the sooner it's completed, the sooner you can hit that 10 minutes later point where it becomes ridiculously cost effective and makes you very durable.
Yeah, a couple turret plates going the way of Pobelter are going to help him complete that very quickly. See, Santorin has been power farming up quite a lot in that regard, plus has the kill to his name. So 3-man top again, though. Elise is running up here, but probably going to be too late once more.
See some bad news, but instead the teleport coming in scares away Golden Guardians, so they will not make the play.
Hey, that's still a great play. Actually being able to force out that TP, back off without any sort of commitment. Pobelter does kill off the Nation of the Mist there, which was a pretty big deal because you can actually recall things back to base and have to heal up. New York's laning power is so much more without it, but still, I like the roam, and they do get out the teleport for it. But it's FlyQuest starting up this Rift Herald. We'll see. If Golden Guardians want to try to challenge this, I think it would be a bit ill-advised. New York has no ultimate available. 3v3 powers could be severely diminished.
They will scare FlyQuest away from it. Okay. I do like the call from FlyQuest to try to take it at least, to get something out of the fact that you committed a teleport and some resources up towards the top side. You know, making that one happen. Oh, right back into the fight. 2 versus 2 bottom side. On.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, flash away there from Wild Turtle, anticipating Golden Guardians to take it further.
Yeah, that's going to be feeling really good. Now you're up the flash, so Turtle has to be really careful about potential taunt flash, especially if multiple members are roaming down. You could send Froggen down to the bottom lane now. Set that up very easily with the taunt flash into a Lissandra ultimate. There's certainly possibility to punish this Ezreal with the composition that Golden Guardians has.
Nice work.
Golden Guardians will continue farming up right now, still working towards that Blade King here for Deathly's Lucian. Wants to get that item probably before they go in for any major hard engages. Froggen will continue losing out in these 1v1 trades here in the mid lane. Pobelter has gone past that level 9 mark, but Death's Hand is on that very spammable cooldown point, so he can easily shove up the waves and trade very effectively in these extended engagements.
Pobelter really has been running the lane, but farm is even and Froggen is roaming elsewhere, so the big advantage he's been getting is the turret plates, right? And there is only that 1.5 or so remaining. You know, when you count that last one that you get for actually killing off the turret. So Pobelter trying to cash in on that advantage, and we may see them have to look for some sort of a play around him, because giving up a solo first turret to that Swain is going to be pretty detrimental. You talked about how powerful the kind of counter-engage Swain acts as. When Swain really does get going, he becomes so tanky, so oppressive, if you can't hit that break point where you can burst him down through his ultimate.
Plus, that's now 2 Elemental Drakes going the way of FlyQuest. Just a couple moments ago, you saw Santorin secure yet another here for this squad. Ocean plus Cloud under their belts now, as Pobelter wants to try to get that final plate, that second to last plate, I should say, but unfortunately, just going to be a few seconds shy of being able to make that one happen as Froggen shows up in time to clear the lane. Luden's Echo
focus your attacks on their support
first tower now.
Yeah, extra CDR as well, going to be pretty impactful. Having the additional ultimate cooldown is going to be really, really nice for them there. But so far, pretty quiet game. You can see, though, Haunter, you're going to be feeling good about your position here as York. He's working quickly towards that Triforce. York is not behind by any means, and I definitely feel like when he hits Triforce, he's going to be in a position to actually be able to win these 1v1s. Now with the ultimate up for York, you just start with Rift Herald, and if you can grab that, you may be able to kind of steal away that first turret gold from FlyQuest, who has had Pobelter working away at that this whole time.
And remember, it was Golden Guardians who last game also stole away first turret, because FlyQuest were the ones with Rift Herald in pocket. Golden Guardians made the play in the top side to get that first. We'll see if they can manage to grab something before a stiff breeze hits that mid lane turret on the side of Golden Guardians and closes over. Rift Herald was picked up on Jarvan for contract, so he can take it to any lane he wants.
One more.
Top side, Santorin helping Viper make sure they maintain control over this lane. Make sure Golden Guardians just walk up, drop the Herald, and bail.
Yeah, but this should be Triforce now for Haunter. He has a lot of gold in the bag. Recalls, he's going to recall that mana and come right back with the Triforce. He now should be winning that 1v1. Triforce obviously a lot stronger break one right now than just sitting on that Black Cleaver. You have Pobelter here working away diligently at this turret, getting it very, very low. Might not quite be able to finish it off here, but
2 more autos.
Really, really close. And with Elise in his back pocket, you can just walk up potentially with just Rainform and Elise, help push in the wave and try to finish off. I think that's maybe why they're moving Jace, starting that roam down and trying to play around this. They really want to secure the turret.
JJ also trending towards the Indian jump on the blue buff, forcing him to hang around. True Shot Barrage nearly steals that one away, but Golden Guardians will lose the mid lane tier 1 now. Nice lead coming out from FlyQuest after they managed to secure that. Frog will continue clearing out the waves. With the turret down, I guess at least you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's not like Pobelt is going to be pressing up onto the tier 2 on his own. Ole going in into the bottom side, looking to make this play happen. It's going to be 3 versus 2. Galio coming in. There's the dunk bucket. He won't be able to make the dunk happen, but they already got the kill anyway. Golden Guardians looking to make even more happen. Viper grabbing the snipe shot onto Ole. Santorin is going to be squished. That Spider's out of there, and Golden Guardians pick up 2 for 1.
Yeah, Hunts are going to give him the shovel there, smacking him down as the punish did come through right before Turtle got the flash back. We talked about it when it was forced out. Ole able to force that flash earlier, punishes it now, and JJ can run down.
JJ trying to run himself away, has to use the flash to get out of that one. Barely escapes the kitty cage, has to flash away from the flag of the Jarvan. And that is going to be turret over to the side of Golden Guardians. Strike back.
Yep, but they even have Froggen just resetting the wave top side, so that is going to be coming back towards Haunter. Both top laners picked up a kill there. You can see Haunter going to be building towards more of a team fight style here to keep that cow, but this watch this replay one more time, as they know Turtle has no flash. Ole though, in he goes. Flash, follow, gets him taunted right on the buffer, so he's pulled back in, locked up for contracts. The Galio ultimate not able to come through though, as he did get stunned out by JJ, and then everyone arrives. Viper sniping down Ole, but Santorin next to follow.
Good plays coming out from Golden Guardians once again, seeming to have everybody on the same train of thought. This looks like a coordinated squad. This looks like a squad that wants to make a run in playoffs.
It really does. Their team play has been so impressive here today. They are always seeming to actually work together, punish cooldowns being used,
and destroy the ship's internal
effectively pull off roams and answer plays that the opponents are pulling off. So far so good, but it is very close as far as the gold goes. 2 dragons are on the side of FlyQuest, that's just going to help them out somewhat. And they do have answers in the countering game.
Important distinction to make between this game and last game. Last game, the Drakes were Mountain, Infernal. This time it's Ocean, Cloud, Cloud. So the combat effectiveness of the Drakes not quite the same. Pobelter could be in some trouble here going in the ultimate. CC coming through. Contracts brings out the Cataclysm. Pobelter still staying alive. Contracts nearly killed. True Shot Barrage will take him out as Frog is forced to flash out over the wall. JJ will fall. The Golden Guardians just took way too damn long trying to kill that swing.
Yeah, I mean, that is Contracts. He's full tank, right? And you have a Galio there who is also, full tank doesn't have an AP Galio. They have very little damage there. Ignite was not available from Ole. That is a risky play to try to go for. He did not hit that damage threshold, so Pobelter just charges up the ultimate, and they're able to actually trade back the kill. Still, though, it is 1 kill going to the side of either team, as JJ fell there as well.
Top side, both Guardians
ultimate this time.
Trying to do it again. However, Sonya's Hourglass exists, and Pobelter is once again just fine. Golden Guardians going way too far in this time. There's your never move. Ole's in some trouble trying to get out with the Justice Punch, but retaliation comes through the flag.
Yeah, nicely done. Maybe not taking into consideration the fact that Turtle, the Ezreal, could actually TP in to turn that around. So, FlyQuest with a good punch back of their own. Now up a member, we'll go for this, and here's the play one more time. So, nice dodge out on the Flag and Drag. Most of the initial burst is actually spent, but again, it's after Shock Lysandra, it's tank Jarvan, it's tank Galio. They didn't have their biggest sources of damage, with Lucian and New York actually there, and they didn't have any sort of healing debuff on Pobelter, so Pobelter just stands strong. And although they do take down JJ, they are able to grab, I would say, the bigger kill in the jungler.
Now this is the kind of game I think most people were expecting coming into the series. Very close, very much back and forth. Plays being made by both sides. FlyQuest definitely seemed to be fumbling in game number 1, but found that footing here in number 2. And the teleport will be made in the mid lane. Pobelter showing up to hold this turret as long as possible.
And very interesting, we are going to see Turtle actually going for the Ludens, unless this is a double tier build and he didn't realize that the patch has changed, but I
literally don't think it's built the item.
Okay, so then it has to be a Ludens coming out here. So this is something that I have felt really does fit well in that same slot. If you do want to play the same slot, you don't have the shield, but you're trading essentially survivability for additional damage with that pickup, and it allows you to play the same way you were playing the old style of Ezreal. So I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's something that very likely will come into more popularity this time.
Yeah, I seem to remember a significant chunk of the player base being upset that they can no longer buy 6 tiers when they're 0 and 8 spamming FFs at 15. So I'm pretty sure the item is actually hard locked out of inventory once you have the first one or evolution of it in that item selection already. So, FlyQuest, not able to build that second tier. We'll see if it's
protecting the players from themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike Lifeline, which you can still troll.
Yeah. You're still allowed, for some reason, to build multiple Lifeline items, and I feel like maybe we should put a big red marker on the screen that says, don't build this, you already have it.
I kind of like when it's in there, so you can just tell who reads patch notes and who, you know, follows or not.
It's the did you read check. Yeah. But right now, Golden Guardians and FlyQuest, everybody's trying to get a read on exactly what the next move is going to be. FlyQuest are thinking maybe Golden Guardians make some kind of a move in lane. That turret is very vulnerable. They've got multiple people here ready in case GGS tries to engage. You can see Contracts and Ole both off to the side here. JJ is the man who's died twice already on the side of FlyQuest. That's the guy that Golden Guardians have been successful picking up. Top side, Froggen on this Lissandra. It just doesn't seem as impactful as Froggen on the Karthus. It doesn't seem, as you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the potential of a Galio mid, it doesn't seem as stylistically appropriate for Froggen. When you think of Froggen, you think of that big carry, right? The muscle of the team. Lissandra, much more of a supportive type of role. His Contracts forced to flash over the wall to keep himself safe there. True Shot Barrage flies out and is going to take him very low, likely sending him home for that one.
Yeah, and you do always have to be worried now with Baron out on the map for 22 minutes. You get chunked down too low. Could be the other team trying to start up Baron. And one of the things, though, to Froggen's credit, while he hasn't looked as strong so far this game as compared to Karthus, he's had some good roams up to the top side, and Haunter is in a comfortable position. So you kind of have to see, is Haunter going to be able to pay that back? Is he going to be able to get a solo kill? Start knocking down turrets, right? Start making plays happen, because that's what they want to go for, but Froggen's going in.
Mid lane is JJ once again going to be in some trouble. Beaten up, locked down, nearly taken out. Ignite going to be taken, and he's out of there. Contract's now going to be taken very low just now, and Ole is the next one. Exploded here in the middle of the team fight. A nice shot from Viper to finish off Contracts, and that is 2 for 1, FlyQuest.
Yeah, but not enough damage to actually focus down Pobelter, so Swain stands strong. It is 2 for 1. Jungler still alive here for FlyQuest. We'll see how much they can actually try to take from this. They're going to get at least this tier 2 power. Do they go to Baron now? The answer looking like no.
This is some serious deja vu, as we have been here before. Every single time they try to go after this Swain, he's just too hard to kill.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of consistent DPS actually built into this Golden Guardians team. So you're going to have to try to avoid this Swain. I think it was a very intelligent pick into this sort of squad, and now Haunter picked off.
Oh, there comes the damage. Jace and Elise combined. That's that wombo combo we were talking about. It might not be laning phase, but that still stings.
Yeah, 24 minutes in, they do pull it off. They knock down Haunter, and now Ole caught out here. You got to be careful.
Tussle blows stacking up. We need one more for the stun, but not able to find it. Ole gets himself away. But let's take another look here at the mid lane fight.
Yep, here's the play. They're going in for JJ, who was actually separated out from the team, and they are able to burst him down, expending the Ignite, which does tick through and kills him off. But then again, who is going to kill Pobelter here? That's a tank Jarvan. It's Lissandra, who is not having a tremendous amount of high DPS. So, as members do start to fall, definitely in Haunter and Rush will not stay around and try to focus down Pobelter, who still even had the Zonias up and available. And now this is Swain. 3 full items completed, significantly ahead of that pacing coming out of Froggen here on the Lissandra. This guy is just getting so damn hard to take down. He's building up quite a bit of health between the Roa and the Leandries to actually not be able to be burst down instantly either. So yeah, it's going to be tough to deal with. You have to feel like it needs to be more about the split, but we haven't seen there continue.
If you can't kill him here, you're never going to kill him, period. Golden Guardians trying to make it happen. Pobelt to the target. Over the ball goes Wild Turtle, looking to make something happen. Santorin grabbing the kill onto Froggen. And FlyQuest turn this one around real quick. It's 3 dead for Golden Guardians. And FlyQuest call the Baron.
Yep, that is straight onto the Baron. They keep trying to make these plays happen. Pobelter sat on cleanse that whole time. He was not threatened whatsoever. Still had both summoners up. Not even close to knocking him down, and they just cannot deal with Pobelter here whatsoever, and that may be all that FlyQuest needed to try to close this one out now. They are very far ahead. I'm going to be looking to make it a play. So again, in they go. Definitely is here this time, but Zonya is buying so much time. He's healing up off of them, vamping up. And in comes FlyQuest. It's 5 members up here. Haunter doesn't have TP. He's not in the area. No chance for them to win this fight. They weren't even close to killing Pobelter.
This Swain is truly the X factor of game number 2. Every single time Golden Guardians has tried to make any sort of a play with Pobelter involved, it does not work.
And that is why I don't understand Golden Guardians being so fixated on trying to make plays around him. Early in the game, we saw multiple